Hey, how's it going, everyone? Welcome to Mentor Monday. Mentor Monday is your weekly microdose of encouragement, inspiration, and miracle grow on your potential as a coach. It is so great to be back. I had a lot going on in my life over the past really like month and a half. If you guys wonder where I've been, we had a death in the family. So there was a lot of different things that were going on around that. I got sick. And then not only did I get sick, but then I ended up losing my voice. So it's just been a lot of different things that have kind of hit the fan over the last few weeks that I've just had to attend to and everything else. And I appreciate all of you who've reached out to ask, are we ever coming back on a Monday night? How's Paul doing? All of those other things. God's good. I'm very blessed. I'm very at peace. I'm very joyful in the middle of all of those other kinds of things. And so appreciate your concern and all that. Hey, let's do this. If you've never joined us, and even if you have, you got to let us know that you're here. I'm over here in the studio. I don't have the opportunity to see your beautiful faces or to hear your voices. So next best thing is to jump inside the chat and tell us where you're joining us from and what you're excited about in your life. And also tonight is a live Q&A for coaches. So what I would love for you to do is we had some questions that were sent in ahead of time. I'm going to try to throw everything in that I possibly can so you can begin to throw your questions into the chat and all of those things. So let me say hello to a few people who are saying hello to me. There's Daniel saying hello. How's it going? Daniel, who's joining us from Colorado. Let me see. I got a weird pop-up going on here. Diane is joining us from South Carolina. Angela is joining us from San Bernardino. And Daniel says, I got my certification today. Way to go, Daniel. Way to finish up completing all of that. It's great work. Alicia is joining us from PGH. Where is that? Should I know where this is? Maybe I should. Maybe I'm just ill-informed. You can let me know. Maybe other people know. They can tell me. Felicia's joining us from Dallas, Texas. Welcome, Felicia. Anybody else, as you're making it into the room, it's always important for me to acknowledge you and to also get feedback from you as the night is progressing. And so do me a huge favor and jump inside of the chat. If you're just joining us, you haven't missed anything yet, but we would love to know where you're joining us from, what you're excited about, and what questions that you have for us tonight. Let me say hello to a few more. Pittsburgh. Yes. I guess I was expecting a PITT or something like that. I don't know. Tara's joining us from Colorado. Welcome, Tara. Very good. If anybody is just joining us, you haven't missed anything yet, jump inside of the chat. Let us know that you are here. Post a hello. Tell us where you're joining us from. And if you got any questions tonight, because tonight is, well, it's our live Q&A for coaches. So anything that is under the realm of coaching, whether that be coaching skills or if it's on the business side of coaching, and the questions that I had sent in ahead of time are all business related. So it's going to be great. It's going to be a great topic, and I'm excited about it. Anybody else I need to say hello to? Keep those comments coming in, and I will get to them. Making sure that I acknowledge you, and that I also welcome you, and that I can answer any of your questions as we go along. Also, let me say this just as a housekeeping duty. Oh, look, all of our like production stuff is showing up on the screen. Like we really did a bad job of something tonight because it's like all over the place. So how did the camera get knocked off like this? So here's what you can expect. Not only tonight, I'm going to see if we can maybe fix this camera thing so that you can actually see the screen. That was kind of embarrassing, but things happen. Let me pay the bills really quickly. For those of you who have not gotten trained and certified as a coach, here's how we're paying the bills tonight. We have a Jumpstart program that not only includes training and certification, but your business development roadmap. We cover the A to Z on everything that you need in terms of getting trained and certified and your business development steps. What all is included in this program? Well, let me show you a few of the things that are included. Our live weekend coaching boot camp. It's where you can start on a Friday, knock out all of your training in a single weekend. It's coming up January 5th through the 7th. That's less than a month away. If you join Jumpstart for $97 a month with a 3-month minimum commitment, you'll automatically be enrolled in this weekend. And what a great way that you could start a new year and being trained and certified. Jumpstart also includes Brand Camp. What do we do inside of Brand Camp? Well, we walk you through all of the steps of excellent branding for anything that you're doing coaching related. So from website development, we show you how to wireframe your website. We show you how to choose a niche. We show you how to write a sales page. We show you how to write an email. All kinds of different things, lead magnets, all of these things are covered. Search engine optimization, all of these different things are covered inside of this course. It's actually included inside of Jumpstart. We also have inside of Jumpstart the coaching product launch blueprint, where we bring you from idea to launch. So if you haven't even brainstormed anything that you're wanting to do inside of your business or anything else, we will bring you through brainstorming all the way to launch. And what do we do in each one of these steps? It's really 8 steps to launching either your coaching practice or any coaching product, whether it's an online course, whether it's a group coaching program, or any of those things. We walk you through each one of the steps. And here's the other thing is that inside of Jumpstart, we also include a group coaching call. Every Wednesday, I'm live with the coaches who are part of the program. I answer any of your coaching questions on the skill side and also on the business development side. And we give you feedback on anything that you are working on inside of that. So it's a great program. Not only do you get all the steps, you get me, you get Tuesday night coach training that is part of our life coach certification course. So you get 2 live nights with us. You get the group coaching call, but you also get plugged into the community of coaches and lots of brilliant people who will support you, help you knock out your homework, whether it's your certification training, or can give you feedback, help pilot, do test pilots of your programs, whatever. That's what we've included in all of these things. So, with no further delay, let's jump into our questions, and let me say hello to a couple more people who are saying hello to me. James from Chicago, good to see you, James. And there's Sandy who's joining us from New Jersey. So let's jump into our questions for this week. And here is the first question. The first question is, what do people do if they want to work online, but they don't have the money to set up a website at first? Great question. And probably a big concern for many of you as you're launching your coaching practice. And it would only make sense that if you're trying to find online clients, that I guess the assumption would be that you need a website. Well, here's what I'll say about that. One of the big things that I would say is this first thing right here. And that is that a website doesn't make or break you. Now, a lot of you probably have a hard time believing that because everybody's thought forever that if you're going to set up a business and you need to have a website, and if you're trying to get clients online, you must have a website in order to find clients online. Well, I want to de-emphasize website and web development because we have another tool that's far more powerful that's out there for use for all of us. And what is that? Well, here's the thing, is that if you are getting clients online, your social media presence is far more important to getting clients because it allows you to do something a website cannot. And it's this right here: engage and nurture relationships. Because what happens for the most part when somebody goes on a website, because all of you have probably been on a website today. Based on the statistics, about 7 hours a day is spent surfing online. And a big chunk of that's definitely in social media, but people have been online today, probably all of you. Granted, right now you're online. Well, what happens when you go on websites? Well, you click on a website, you look at the page, and you leave most of the time. The vast majority of websites that you go to on a daily basis, you don't buy anything from, you don't do much more than a few seconds or maybe a couple of minutes, and you usually don't view more than 1 or 2 pages. That's pretty typical. Now, here's what happens on a coach's website. The exact same thing. People get on the website, they look around, they might click around, they might look at a picture or two, but they don't stick around. And so what's even worse is that they leave and we never see or hear from them again. So the likelihood that you will ever see or hear from that person ever again, it's very unlikely. We're talking about less than 1% of those people who come on there are going to do anything. It's kind of like they were there. Now, there's some things that you can do, and we teach this in Brand Camp, and we teach this inside of our Jumpstart program and everything else, that you do need to create a lead magnet. When I say a lead magnet, you need to put something on your website when people come on there so that you got the possibility of at least getting their email address or something like that. But for the most part, and even with those people, that's not going to be a high conversion rate. When I say conversion rate, what I'm talking about is that that's going to be a small percentage of people will come on your website and ever buy anything or ever do anything actionable on your site, whether it's enrolling in your email campaign or whatever. This is a very small percentage. So I'm not saying that you never create a website. I'm just saying that if you're trying to find online clients, that it is not your most powerful tool. I think of a website as a business card. That's essentially what it is. And I'll talk more about website in just a second, but let's talk about social media. Because if you guys are wanting to find online clients, well, social media does something that you can't do through a website. It's more effective than a simple website. And the reason why is this. You know what you can do? You can chat with the people who are coming on there. When somebody comes on your website, unless you have a widget installed on the website, and very few people are going to go on there and do anything, at any time, any hour of the day, any day of the week, at any moment, you can initiate a chat inside of any of the apps that are out there, whether it be Instagram or Facebook or whatever. Any of those big platforms have a chat widget. In many cases, like Facebook has Messenger, Instagram has a messaging app and everything else. And what are you able to do? You're able to actually have a conversation through chat with people. That is not a luxury. That website, your website, they're going to come and go. Somebody likes your social media page, or if they are inside of your group, or if they're anywhere, you join a group online. And you know what you're able to do? You're able to join a group. You're able to follow any post. If you see anybody's comments, even if you don't even know who they are, you know what you're able to do? You're able to engage with anybody who's out there in the world. Now, it's possible that that they won't see your chat messenger, depending on how they have things set up. But the reality is that we can reach out and touch somebody like we never could. Now, that used to be an old campaign like forever ago, reach out and touch someone. And I think it was like Southwestern Bell or something like that. But you can actually do that through social media. Nothing's stopping you from doing that. You know what you can do? You can chat. You can answer questions. You know what you can do? You can customize your message, because one of the things that happens on a website is, for the most part, you have a static message. You do the best thing that you can to try to talk to your target audience through your website. But the reality is that I can't talk to you and hear your own personal concerns, your own specific questions that you have. I can't relate to you. I also, through my website, can't not only tailor make my message, but I can't directly interact with you through my website. I'm going to do the best that I can to create an open door, to be friendly, to be engaging, to talk in a relevant way and everything else. Nothing compares to communication that we can do, whether it's face-to-face or talking on a phone or talking through social media in some kind of a chat or whatever. Far more powerful than email. Why? Because any of this messaging that we do inside of social media is happening pretty instantaneously. And the other thing is that you can see if someone has actually read your message. In email, most of the time, you can't see that. Open rate in email is pretty low. You're doing great if you can get somebody to open up 25, 30% of your emails. When you talk to someone on Facebook Messenger or Instagram Messenger, you see that those percentages are extraordinarily higher. Why? Because people are used to engaging. It is an engagement tool. And your website, even though we give you strategies and we give you steps, it is never going to even come close to what you're able to do on there. The other thing that you can do is anytime that you want during the day is that you can make any kind of a custom post, whether that be a video or a graphic or just anything that you want to show to the world, is that you can custom make that message and you can change things anytime that you want, as many times as you want during the day. See, the other thing that you can do in this that you can't do with your website is that you can see what your ideal clients really want. How do you do that? Well, if you join a Facebook group, and I'm just throwing that out there as an example, if you join a Facebook group and when you join one, you're really looking for people who are your ideal client. There's something that they want. There's a problem that they want to solve, and you're joining a group where those people who are your ideal client, it's where they live. It's where they exist right now. Those places are, you can probably find 100, possibly thousands in a matter of fact, there's going to be more than you'll ever hope and dream for in terms of finding, because I understand, you got billions of people on Facebook. You're not going to try to reach billions of people. You know what you are going to do? You're going to find a home inside of communities. You're going to create possibly a community. You'll create your own Facebook group. You'll create your own pages or whatever, and you'll create a dialogue, and you'll talk to those people, and you will engage with those people. Now, the thing is that when you join let's say you joined a Facebook group, just giving you an example. Join a Facebook group. Your ideal clients, what do? You pay attention to what things they're concerned about. You pay attention to what questions they are asking. You know what they're doing? Is that when you find out about their problems, you find out about their pain points, you find out about what their desires are, you know what they're telling you? They're telling you what they want, what their greatest desires are, what their hiccups are, what are their inward disqualifiers, what's keeping them from making a decision, what's keeping them from hiring a coach, what's keeping them from finding a solution. You find out what their inward objections are and their outward objections. So you know what you end up finding out? You find out what they want and what's standing in the way. And you can, inside of those groups, without being salesy, you can engage with those people in an open public discussion in front of everybody, so that a lot of people start getting their eyes on what you're sharing. You can be helpful. You can support people. You can offer tools. You can offer like just freebies. Like, think about how you can be a valuable addition to a group of people. And anybody who's in that group, you're one click away from messaging them, sending them a private message, or any of those other things. See, you can get feedback inside of those groups. You know what you can do? Nothing stopping you from following them. Follow the people that you see on there. You can follow their Facebook. You can follow their Instagram. You can follow their TikTok, whatever. Thing is that these are real people. And your website's never going to allow you to follow real people like social media, like you're able to do on social media. Best part is social media is free. So you really, like years ago, people had to pay tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars to try to allow people to know, hey, I've got a product over here to sell. And these days, you know that people don't really they don't like being sold like that. We're in a relational business, so people don't really like being sold like that anyway. And what social media allows us to do is to craft the perfect message, because for all the things that I said, You're able to nurture a relationship with real people, follow real people, engage with real people, craft a message that you know will work. You get all of this test strategy, talk about all this ABC testing and all this other stuff. The best way that you can do it is to actually engage with real people who are your ideal client. And what you're able to do in all of this is that you can make any kind of a post, you can create any kind of community, you can ask any kind of question. You really can know your people on there. And there has been no advertising tool before social media that has ever been as powerful and has ever been as personal, where you can really dial it in. And that it's free. You just have to pay. I can remember, and this will date me, all the way back in, I believe, 1999, 2000, something like that. I had to pay like $1,000 all the way back then just to send an email to X amount of people who are on a particular email list that I didn't have access to, and hope that I had no idea what the open rate was going to be. I didn't really know who the people were in that email list. Basically, it was part of their own advertising to try to solicit some business or something like that. That was a lot of money to be paying with no information about the audience or anything else, except that we got a pretty good idea that this is a group of people that you would like to market to. We call that mass market approach, and they try to narrow it as much as possible, but it's not exact science. Social media is, well, it's exact science because you're actually connecting with people. And that's, again, why it's so powerful. Instead of it costing you hundreds, thousands of dollars to try to get a client and get to some awareness, it's really like just your time. It's learning to craft your message and to be able to engage with people in it. So you can create any kind of content. You can create groups. You can introduce yourself to people. You can join groups, and you likely do not need any training or bonus tools to be able to do it, because if you already have a device, hey, if you're on with me right now, it's obvious that you guys have access to social media and you have all the power in your hands to be able to do every one of these things. No special skills, no special requirements to be able to do that. Now, you might find a cheap or a free tool like Canva to be able to make posts and some of those other things, but you can do that. If that's not enough, let me show you this. This is the latest statistics. This is the October statistics on social media, and hopefully everybody can see these things pretty good. I'm going to try my best. This we talk about. Monthly active users, not just people who have created an account on a platform, but how many monthly active users. And in October, Facebook had this number's in the millions, just so that we know the number's actually in the millions. But they just use this number. So what we're talking about here is really 3 billion people, monthly active users. And so you see these numbers, like YouTube's got a pretty crazy number, 2.5 billion. A lot of people don't really use WhatsApp. Look where Instagram is. It's at 2. Look at TikTok. It is at 1.2 billion. Look at all the people who are using Facebook Messenger. Like I was saying, you can just use a tool like a messaging tool and get a lot out of it. Snapchat chat is still being used. Pinterest is a really interesting one, because people would say, "Oh, well, that's not as many people because it's only 465 million." I'll say this about Pinterest: the income, the household income of Pinterest users is many times more than any other platform that's out there. And the people who are on Pinterest are actually on Pinterest with the intent to buy something. And that makes it much more powerful and a valuable tool than some of the other platforms that are out there. And so there's not as much stuff getting posted there, even though there's a lot of users who are on there. And so you really can stick out and you can be on here. And the thing is that on this right here, we don't even see LinkedIn. And I believe that LinkedIn is somewhere around, I can't remember. I don't want to guess and be wrong. But LinkedIn's another one of those tools that very few people post on, and it's a smaller user base so that you can get actually exposed at a much higher level because there's so much content that's being posted on all these other platforms. And again, there are people every day getting business, getting clients off of a tool like LinkedIn without even bothering to hardly have a website that's any more than a business card that is out there. Now, let's go to the website question, just because I don't want to say don't have a website, but here's what I would say. Every website builder that is out there offers a free really does offer a, why is this grabbing? Quit grabbing. I'm trying to get it to draw. Come on, draw for me. Let's see if it'll let me draw now. Every website builder, I have no idea why I can't just write on this thing, but it won't stop moving. Every website builder, I think it's because I was trying to use my finger. Every website builder offers a free website. And you can get as many pages as you want on a website, but you really don't need much more than a handful of pages max. So when I say a handful, maybe 4 or 5 pages. If you go on Life Coach Training Institute website, now granted, we write a lot of blog pages because every time that I go live on a Monday, we just post it there and we archive it because it's just simplicity, for simplicity purposes for everyone to be able to get to things or whatever. But our core website is only like 5 pages. So many of you made a buying decision for a couple of reasons from us. Most of you made a buying decision to go with Life Coach Training Institute. You went on our website, possibly that's where you started, but you ended up here. You ended up interacting with me through social media, through a YouTube video, through a Facebook video, through an email or something like that. You spent actually very little time on our website before you enrolled in a course. Very little. I know what those stats look like. Again, this is why I would say the power of social media and everything else is it allows me to come into your home or wherever you're watching me from. Maybe you're just laid up in bed right now. Hey, who's in bed getting ready to go to sleep because it's East Coast time and it's already almost 8 o'clock at night. No, it is. It's after 8 o'clock at night. And you're like, yeah, I'm wrapping up, but I'm looking at this or whatever. I get afforded this opportunity to come into your life and to give you something of value. And this is much more powerful than our website ever was, Now, I think it's important to have an informational, an attractional, an engaging website and everything else. It's just not the most important thing out there when you're trying to find online clients. I know coaches right now, one that I'm thinking off the top of my head, she does a specific type of health coaching. And off of her Instagram page, she has a 1-page that's basically a bio with a couple of links to things. And that is it. I don't even know that she pays for her website at all. I'm just saying that it's not the biggest thing in the world if you're trying to find online clients. The biggest thing is that you need a tool for engagement to nurture relationship, not investing all your time inside of a website. So where would I look? I'd probably start with something like Wix or Squarespace. You can set up a free account. You can have a free website. They never require you to upgrade. You can add as many pages as possible. They probably will run an ad or they won't give you an attractive domain on there because you might say wix.com on there or something like that. Big deal, especially if you're just linking from your social media anyway to it. And people are just going to spend about 30 seconds on your website and then they're going to bounce off. I mean, that's usually what people are going to do. So if I was going to say where to invest the lion's share of your time, invest it again in social media. Now, here's the other thing is that some of you might have a little bit of money, but you're like, man, I just don't feel like building out a website or whatever. Go on a website called Fiverr, Fiverr.com. You can probably find somebody who'll build your website for $30. Like, really. Like, it doesn't have to cost a small fortune. You're going to be helping someone that's probably outside of the United States, and you'll be a huge blessing in your life as you help them build their business and help them step into their dreams because it's still a lot of money, but they've got great technical expertise. You might be able to get them just to build out your Wix site or your Squarespace site or a WordPress site or whatever. But the thing is that web design these days, and these are drag and drop builders. So none of you have to have great skill to do this. But if you want someone who's got skill, look on Fiverr or something like that, Fiverr.com, and look for someone who designs websites using Wix, Wix. Wix website designer, Squarespace website designer, people who've got great skill, know the platform back and forth. And since it's only a handful of pages, it's going to probably cost you next to nothing to get it done. And it's usually about maybe $10 a month to have hosting, to have that hosted, But again, do you have to have a paid site? No, you don't. You could actually have somebody build out a free site so that you're not having, so it doesn't have to be a headache for you, and you're utilizing somebody's expertise and also helping them in their business. I just want you to know that it's not like it was in the old days where you spent thousands of dollars on a website. Yeah, you could still do that, but I don't believe that people are really doing that these days anymore, because we just have a lot of people who have great skill and we have access to them worldwide to be able to do that. Now, let me look really quickly, say hello to a couple of people. Tori, who is joining us from Houston. All right, we got Texas represented. Anybody else in the house that hasn't said hello to me, make sure that you say hello. Jump inside of the chat widget and let us know that you are here. Post a hello. And of course, if you've got questions, then we are more than happy to answer your questions. Got a couple of more questions that I need to jump in on here to answer. This question is, I only see clients online. What would be the best way to arrange payments, and is Zoom the best option for online sessions? Well, I think that you got really a few different options when it comes to this. Let me speak to payment processors first. And ooh, that looks bad. What is going on with this thing? Can I make that any prettier? Boy, that looks bad. What is going on with this? Okay, well, something happened to our logo here for this. It looks better on that, but it looks terrible on here. Does it look as bad on here? Yeah, it does look bad. Okay, so here's what I'd say in general when it comes to payment processors. I like big payment processors because you're going to get more features and you're going to have less headaches. And I'm trying to, obviously, there are coaches that use Venmo. There are coaches that use the Cash App. There are coaches who use checks. Now, I know you're using specifically on online clients as far as that's concerned. But in general, I know coaches will use various tools that are out there. Me as a coach, I got burnt. Burnt's kind of a strong word. I remember it was a real hassle trying to take payment from checks or any of those other things, just because it's like people just don't have checks on them most of the time. And so I had great clients, but I'd also have forgetful clients because they didn't drag checkbooks around with them, but they always dragged a credit card around with them. Now, when I set up my first merchant account forever ago, it was a lot of money. Like I had to go through an application and approval and pay money. And these days, it's not like that. So the beauty of today is that you can get a merchant account, because this is what this is called, a merchant account, because you will be a merchant. You'll be selling something. And so you can get that set up really in minutes these days, and you can have it integrated inside of your website. Now, I know there's a lot of different websites that use coaching platforms and all of this other stuff, and you can integrate with a lot of those as well. But these particular big brands right here, what you're able to do is that you're able to create your own payment links in there. So you can set up an account, whether you have a website or not, and you can send them individual links for things. Now, know this, for any of you that use an online payment processor, in general, it's going to be about 3% per transaction. Now, in the very beginning, that doesn't look like a whole lot of money, but it might as you go along. But the reality is that I never wanted to have to hassle and ask people to make a payment at the beginning of the month. So you set them up. When they set it up with their credit card. You never have to worry about it. When you're going to get paid, you get paid, all of those other things. They get receipts, all of that other stuff, everybody's good. And you get a nice little transaction history that's in there, because when you need to do your taxes, or you just want to know what your monthly income is, everything, all of those tools are built into these things. Now, Stripe, it's one of the largest that's out there. They integrate with like every website and with like everything. So if you start doing online courses, or you start selling products, or any of those other things, it's a great integration tool, and you can get things set up really in just a couple of minutes. And you can set up products. You can set up what I'd call subscription billing. So you might have, here's what it costs monthly to work with me. They set it up. That payment's going to go hit. It's going to hit. Where the payments are coming from. If a transaction declines, any of those other kinds of things, it's all in there. Great history, everything else. PayPal's really an old reliable. PayPal's been around for like forever. I think that something like 200 countries can really utilize PayPal. I think that the interface on the back end is a little bit clunky, but a lot of people still utilize PayPal, especially for eBayers, because this is when PayPal came out. They were connected with eBay and all of those other things. I'm assuming that it's still that same way, but a lot of people have PayPal accounts, and some people like to make purchases that way. You can do subscription billing. It's about the same payment price. It's about 2.9%, and then a transaction fee as well of like 10 cents or something like that. Now, one other really cool one that's out there is called Samcart. Now, listen, I don't get any sponsorship like stuff for any of this. I'm just giving you some ideas of some places to look. Samcart is different than the other ones that are out there. The difference is that you pay a monthly fee based on the number of transactions. So you can probably set up for like $10 a month. And then what they allow you to do is a number of transactions that you're able to have on there. So really, when you sit around and you do the math, that can save you a lot of money, depending on how many people that you have enrolled in your programs, enrolled in your coaching practice, or whatever. So Samcart's another one that's out there that you could definitely utilize. Now, last question that was that second part of that question was, would I recommend Zoom? Well, the beauty of coaching clients online is that 2020 gave us a real blessing in that people started utilizing Zoom and got really, really comfortable doing things virtually. So much so that people were like, I don't want to go back to work. Can I just work from home? And so people started utilizing it. Now, the reason why I like Zoom is really because it's simple. Like, most people know how to use it, regardless of their age. Some people can make any technology hard. I mean, there's some people out there who are just not great at technology, and they can make any technology difficult. Zoom's pretty much plug and play. You can install it on your phone. You can install it on a tablet. You can install it on a PC or whatever, and it works exactly like you would expect it to work. Sometimes people's internet isn't that great, and this is the only challenge that I would say about anything that you're doing online, is if they have a bad connection, or if they have bad equipment, that their microphone's not working, their camera's not working, or whatever, that can really hinder your coaching. So, but I'd still say that Zoom's probably one of the best that's out there, just because people know how to utilize it, and it's really, really simple. You probably could use FaceTime if they have an iPhone, but not everybody has an iPhone. I was at a table this week, and everybody at the table had an Android phone. Mind blown, because I use Android. And everybody's like, everybody's got an Android phone over here. How crazy is that? That was weird. It's like, what universe am I in right now? But anyway, but there's Google Hangouts. There's all these different kinds of things that are out there. As long as you're comfortable with the platform and your client's comfortable with the platform, because you don't want anything hindering that time because they don't know how to utilize something, or if their internet connection is bad or something like that, that can be really obnoxious, and it can ruin your time. Let me see. Do I need to say hello to anybody else that's on here? Right along with that, I'll grab this question. Do you recommend charging monthly fees or per session fees? Well, at the end of the day, you're going to be, for one, I don't know why anybody charges per session, because we're not doing one-offs. I never tell coaches to do one-offs, because you need to have a plan for your business. You're building a business. So what do we want to do? And everybody's used to paying a subscription fee these days anyway. They're doing it with Spotify, they're doing it with their TV service, all of these other things. We're just another subscription fee that's on there. What I always tell our coaches to do when you enroll a client, you want to have them committed for at least a minimum of 90 days and at least get that first month paid up front before you ever start with them. And so let's say that you work with somebody weekly or bi-weekly. They're going to get hit for the most part on the first of the month or the 15th of the month or whatever date that you've chosen to build them on. I'd have that all automated. Again, we're not doing per session for the most part. Now I guess you could set up subscription billing so that they're hit weekly or every 2 weeks or something like that. I mean, you could technically, but what I am saying is that you're not sitting there trying to do an individual. For one, you're not doing one-offs because those don't help people. You've set up a client, you've enrolled a client for at least 90 days. And so if you want to make a subscription billing where they get hit on their card every 2 weeks, you could. That usually confuses people for the most part. And that's why I would only do it. Hey, they know it's going to hit on the 1st or the 15th or the 25th or whatever. That's probably how I would recommend going about that. Kathy is joining us from Florida. Good to see you. Dr. Peters is saying hello from Virginia. And I have no idea who Facebook user is. You must be in our Facebook group joining us from over there. But hello to you as well. Let me jump in to one more question that I see on here. And before I jump into it, and this one's specifically around choosing a niche, let me pay the bills one more time before we head out of here. And before I answer this last question is a doozy. It's about choosing a niche and a real valuable niche. And so I'm going to be answering that question in just a second. For those of you who have not gotten trained and certified as a coach yet, the best offer that I could possibly give you is our Jumpstart program. Jumpstart is a subscription-based program. How you like that? It's $97 a month with a 3-month minimum commitment. Now, how much is $97 a month? Well, that's the cost of Starbucks if you don't get anything fancy. That's a little over $3 a day, except for that $3 a day. Now, I know that all of you have been searching around for coaching programs and you've Googled it more than one time. So you're stuck and you haven't made a decision because you're sitting around looking at all these other programs and they cost thousands of dollars. Hey, good job not just going and throwing money out there, because most programs only teach you coaching skills and they don't give you any clue of how to go out and get clients. I know I was one of those coaches and not much has changed since then. So what do we do inside of our Jumpstart program? Well, we allow you to get trained and certified. We give you the life coach certification course and our weekend boot camp. So you are overwhelmingly trained. Not only do you get the training modules that are self-paced, but you get invited every Tuesday to join us live so that you can interact with other coaches who are part of the program. You can find homework buddies. You can find accountability partners, all of those other kinds of things. You can also interact with me every Tuesday night for live coach training to ask any of your questions so that you're always having that interactivity and that support. But Jumpstart is much more than that, because it is a business, because we give you a business development roadmap. We give you the A to Z on how to develop your coaching practice. One of those courses that is included inside of Jumpstart is called the Coaching Product Launch Blueprint. What we do in 8 sessions, I walk you through, we take you by the hand, and we bring you from zero, doing brainstorming, all the way to launching your coaching practice or any coaching product. We're talking about online courses, webinars, or really anything, group coaching, any of those things. So we give you all the tools for brainstorming. We show you how to develop your website, how to develop your products, how to create lead magnets, how to write social media posts, all these other things. We show you how to create a website funnel, and we give you the 14-day product launch sequence. It's all in that. We also give you 13 hours of training just simply on branding. What do you do? What color schemes work? What brand name should you be using? How do you choose a niche? How do you choose a target market? How do you sell? How do you write a sales page? How do you write an email? We cover everything. Search engine optimization, all of these different things that we cover step by step We take all of the guesswork. All you got to do is show up, and we show you how to do it. We also give you, again, the coaching boot camp, which allows you to knock all of your life coach training out in a single weekend. The next one's January 5th through the 7th. It's 7 sessions. We start on a Friday, we end Sunday. You just turn in your assignments and take the exam, and you're all done. You also get a free listing on lifecoachmatch.com. And of course, that also includes your certificate and your unique credential ID number. All of these things are included inside of Jumpstart. And don't forget that inside of Jumpstart, we also have a Wednesday group coaching call where you can interact with other coaches, and you can also get direct feedback on anything that you're working on. We review people's websites. We review people's coaching sessions, any of those things that you need. It's a great supportive community of brilliant people who can really, really help you. Now, let's get to our final question on here. That is the wrong screen. Let me get this one back up. It's telling me that I need to go into offline mode, and now I have lost my stuff. Okay, you coming back? Come on back. Come back. Please come back. Please bring me let me see, maybe if I close it up, it'll let me bring it back. Who knows? Technology is amazing when it's working, and then when it fails you, I mean, I know what to tell you guys on this if it doesn't work, but I would rather have my graphics and everything else in place to be able to show you, because pictures always speak so much louder, don't they? Okay, connecting the server. It's taking longer than usual. We'll give that a second. Let me jump over here, and I just want to look, and if there's any questions that I can answer, in the meantime, I will try to do it. What if you're already a coach? Can I do Jumpstart without the certification material? And are all the courses self-paced as well? Yes, you can. If you're already a certified coach, whether you're certified through us or anybody else, basically what if you're already certified through us, you'll notice that those courses are already complete inside there. So when you enroll in Jumpstart, and the link is inside of the description if anybody's wondering, in this video description, then you can just join, and you don't have to repeat that stuff. But you do continue to be invited to everything that is a part of that. Patricia is joining us from Alabama. Kathy says, I'm just starting your course. Thank you. You are welcome. All right, let's see again if I can get this thing to work, since it's kind of misbehaving. All right, let's see. Who knows why anything is misbehaving sometimes? But it is just thinking forever. Why is it taking so long, though? Like, it's literally like, come on. We've got high-speed internet here. I think everything's making a great connection here. I believe it is. But who knows? Well, here's the question, and I'll try to do it without the beautiful board. All right, so the question, this is going to be our final question for the night, I believe. And that question is, how can I choose a niche that is best suited for me to get more clients? And boy, I really need my board to work. Come on, board. Will you work? I'm almost going to just turn off my internet so that it will just like quit doing whatever it's doing. And then maybe if I just turn it off, it'll just, I know what I'll do. It'll just say, hey, you don't have internet. And then it'll allow me to do something else. So here's what I'm going to do. Try to improvise here. There we go. Now it's going to let me work offline. There we go. I know. Just give me the board. Okay, here we go. So here's how we come to a decision about a niche. Now, the important question that you asked here, how do I choose a niche that is best suited for me to get more clients? Well, here's the thing, is that a niche is composed of a people. So it's a group of people. Now, what do we know about this group of people? Well, important kinds of things. There's something in that they have in common. And boy, this Let me go to a smaller. There we go. So obviously, with this group of people, there's things that they have in common. Might be age, it might be a number of other things. That doesn't matter nearly as much. But one other thing that is true about this people. So when we say they have things in common, that means that you should be able to know who Susie, potential client, is, who Carl, potential client, is. Um, so we talk in terms of one of the tools that we give our coaches inside of Jumpstart is a client avatar. We want you to actually think about who these people are. You might have been, for all of you who are watching me right now, it's very possible that you're hoping to work with people who were where you were 3, 5, 10 years ago. And that's really helpful because you can think about a lot of different things with regard to yourself. You know what do I know about this person? You know, what are because when I say these people, well, there's a lot of different things that they have in common. You know what? They have objections. They have concerns. There's probably something demographically that you can kind of tell me about these people. One thing's for sure, though, is that they have the money to purchase whatever it is that you're selling. I know that some of you are wanting to work with people and you're like, you're going to have to choose a group of people. Listen, you're worth it. Some of you have money issues in your head. And I only know because it seems to affect probably 80% of the coaches that I work with. So let's just talk about the elephant in the room. Some of you have money issues in your head. You need to work on those things. Like you have an aversion to money. You have a fear of money. You have money pain. You have money trauma. I know I was one of those people. And if you have an aversion to money in some kind of a way, you're never going to be able to charge what you're worth. And you won't even charge people. So you'll find a lot of coaches who seem to have seem to want to help people, but they end up for some reason like either doing cut rate coaching or doing free coaching. And here's what's true. Free coaching never helps anyone. I've never seen someone get free coaching that really had great transformation. I've always consistently seen the people who will pay the most. And when I say the most, I'm not talking about dollar amount. I'm talking about when somebody values something, they feel it. They've got skin in the game. And that's a different number for different people. They need to actually feel like I'm making an investment in myself. I don't have it up here right now because I'm trying to detach from technology as much as I can. But most of you have a cell phone that you've bought in the last couple of years. You might have one that you got this year. Look at how people treat their having a cell phone. They can probably say it's a need. Oh, well, I've got to have this. But look at how much time you actually spend talking on your phone. What do people use their phone for? Talking, less talking, maybe a little bit of texting, but most of you are using it on social media to look at cat videos and stuff like that. Most people are using their phones to take pictures of their kids or various other kinds of, or their food, or they're looking up recipes or they're pinning things on Pinterest or whatever. These are not necessity kinds of things. And you know what people do? They pay a lot of money to have that cell phone. The Galaxy 23 is $1,200 right now. And people are kind of used to paying not just a couple of hundred, but they'll pay like $1,000 for the latest phone or whatever. And they'll pay a significant amount of money, more than $50 a month. In many cases, family plans are like around $200 a month or something like that. And people can say what they want, but the vast majority of their time is spent entertaining themselves. This is what people are doing for entertainment in themselves. They have skin in the game because they value it, so they pay for it. And if worse came to worse, people, the last thing that they're going to get rid of in most cases is going to be their cell phone and some of their various entertainment that they pay for. What am I saying in all of this? Is that we cheat people from their in their transformation when we do cut rate coaching, because what that requires us to do is to have a lot more clients that would drop us at the first sign of convenience for them, that it's like, you know what, I'm going to drop this because I'm not getting anything out of it, because people show up differently when it's something that matters to them and they have skin in the game. Look at when people pay a lot of money for a concert. and let's say that it's general seating, what do? They get there early to make sure that they get a really good seat. When people pay a lot of money for general boarding on a Southwest flight, it's amazing how they will stand in line and get a great boarding thing. Like, you watch how people show up. When people pay a lot of money for a doctor visit and they have a problem that they need solved and they are in pain, they show up early to a doctor's visit and they will actually wait 15, 20 minutes in order for that to happen. This in order for them to see a doctor. So what do people do? Is that what they value for? They have skin in the game, and they will trade time and money to be able to get it. And when people do not pay a whole lot of money, they usually disrespect and dishonor the people that they're working with. You ever been to a fancy restaurant and seen anybody act out before in your life? Like, they just got out and there was a fist fight in the middle of a fancy restaurant. Have you ever been in a fancy restaurant and they were talking to the staff like they were garbage and everything else? No. But you've probably been to a fast food restaurant and seen a fist fight break out, or people cussing people out, or people saying you're an idiot and everything else. You make minimum wage and you don't even know what you're doing and everything else. Where does that come from? Well, people devalue people in a place where there is not a high value of an investment and everything else. So what am I saying in this? If you are a cut rate coach or you're a free coach, you're teaching people how to value you. And they will value you appropriately based on what you've taught them to do. So this is why you've got to go to war against any kind of bad money beliefs. I got a whole series on that. How do you go after bad money beliefs and everything else? I'm going to encourage you to go after these things. This is why when you're choosing a niche, choose a group of people who can actually afford to work with a coach. There's always going to be a line for people who don't have to pay anything for anything, but it does not mean that you should be working with them. Now, if you ever want to, you get to a place where you can take care of yourself. It's kind of like flying on an airplane. You don't start doing free until you know that you have oxygen on your own face first, and then you can help the person next to you. So make sure that you are not starving before you try to help someone else who is starving. Just promise me that. So it all begins with the people. And one of the big things that connects these people is that they all have a problem. Now, what do we want? So if you're wanting to make money, then we want a valuable problem. And what do we want to know? This problem hurts. It sucks to have this problem. You know what happens when there's a problem that hurts and that sucks and is urgent? You know what comes out of that? Value. Your value, because you're asking specifically about value. How do you get paid for things? Your value comes from the problem. So think about it like this. If you are not thirsty and you need to go out and buy a case of water, you're looking around at prices and you're like, let's say that you're at a pharmacy and you're like, this water is like $10 for a case of this water. I'll wait until I can get to Walmart, because you're not thirsty right then. Go to Walmart, you can get the same case for $4.99. You're like, dude, I'm not doing this, right? But imagine you're driving across West Texas. And it's all like, that this is, it'll say on there, the last gas station for the next 30 miles. And you're thirsty. And you get in there and it's $5 for a bottle of water. And you know what you do? Because of your problem, because it hurts, because it's uncomfortable or whatever, you might buy 2 bottles. You'd never do that in any other case. But in a sense of desperation and because of neediness, then you will actually make that investment at that time. You're not going to make a habit of doing that all the time. Maybe you'll be more prepared. But see, what happens is that the problem creates its own scarcity and urgency, and all of these things kind of combine so that people will make that investment. So for this question, how do I choose a niche that's best suited for me to get more clients? You need to know who your people are. Second of all, you need to find people who actually have a problem. Coaches, any of you coaches who on your website tonight, you want to live your best life, you're not going to sell coaching. You can't sell live your best life to anybody. Nobody even knows what that means. It's kind of become a joke of a cliche. Sometimes I'll see people who will post a reel of their dog and they say, "Look at my dog living their best life." It's a joke. It's become a cliche. And no one even understands what live your best life means. So coaches who sell coaching and live your best life or be the best version of yourself are unable to do it because it's got to be connected to a problem. I'm not saying look for someone who's in depression or has addiction or any of those other things. Those people need to see counselors and therapists. What we're saying is that we're looking for somebody who actually has a quality problem that they want to solve. Money goes to problems. And you don't want to be educating people on coaching and saying, well, coaching's not like counseling. Why would you even talk about that? To sell coaching, you don't even talk about coaching. You know what you do? You pick your people. You got to know your people, what their objections are. What are the things that, who is this person? Make sure they have some money. Second thing, what's their problem? What is the problem they are already thinking about that you don't have to convince them that they need to solve? They're already thinking about the problem, then they're going to be listening. So let's say, I hate to say this because I know that my phone's probably going to hear me say this, but and then I'll start getting ads. But but you ever? I can remember some years ago I had injured my back. Now, if you have a back problem and your back's really hurting, you're listening to solutions when something comes up on an Instagram reel or an ad because you're like, oh, well, maybe this could solve my problem. But if you don't have a back problem, then you just kind of like scroll past those ads and you don't pay any attention to it. If you have a really, really bad back problem, you're probably actively searching for a solution to it anyway. But see, you're already a bad back problem. You're living with the pain. You're thinking about it. It's keeping you up at night. You're flipping over many times during the night. And when that problem gets severe enough, you're going to do something about it. You're going to look to act. So this is what we want our coaching to do. Your coaching's got to be wrapped around a problem. Not just, oh, I'm a health coach. Okay, that's fine. Oh, I'm a leadership coach. Okay, that's great. I mean, we're talking about lucrative niches, but the only thing that gets people to buy is that you talk about the problem that you want solved, that they want solved. You show that you understand the problem. Maybe it's a problem that you solved in your life, and you go after that problem. You talk about that problem. It's painful. It sucks. It's urgent. You got to do something about it. Okay, I'm already listening. I don't care if it's coaching. I don't care if it's running in place. I don't care if it's drinking 30 ounces of water, every 3 hours or something like that. I don't really care how to get there. I just need to know that you understand my problem and that you have a solution for it, because I'll try anything if it's urgent enough and it hurts enough and it stinks enough. Now, last part that goes with that is it's people, it's problem, and it's a solution. You need to have a solution that solves the problem. So, and it needs to make sense. Step 1, step 2, step 3, whatever it is. Is it a group coaching program? Is it an online course? Is it a webinar? Is it a series of things? Are there tools that are embedded and connected? Is it one-on-one coaching? Like whatever it is, what we have to do is explain in really simple ways, show that we actually have a solution to the problem, and this is what attracts the client. The thing that's best suited for you to get more clients is not just simply choosing a niche that's out there. You need to find a niche of people that you are passionate about. Have a passion for the people that you're working with. It'll be, and if you do, and you already know these people, and that's actually who you used to be, or you relate to them in some kind of a way, then it's going to be really easy to speak to these people that you already understand and you're already passionate about. And if you pick the people that you're most passionate about, you will do your best work. Second thing, a problem that you're passionate about solving. And it's probably a problem that you have a lot of knowledge about. You might have a skill around, you might have experience, you might have some kind of knowledge. You might have actually had this problem at some point. In many cases, you've had that problem. So you're passionate about this problem as well. And because you've had victory in this area, you also have a solution. This is what's best suited for you when it comes to choosing a niche. You don't chase the money. You know what you do? You pick the people, you pick the problem, you pick the solution, and you talk about it. And that is what you're best suited to do. And you'll never starve if you figure out a way to open your hands and serve those people. You'll never have an empty hand when it comes to financial resources. This is how we do it. We don't do it by Googling what are the most lucrative niches that are out there. Now, I just gave you guys a search term, and some of you are like, well, I'm going to try to do that. That's not really how we go about it. Just because you could work with anybody doesn't mean that you should. I was pre-med when I went into college. You know why? Because I had cousins, my uncle was a doctor and everything else. And I'm like, oh, well, this is where all the money's at. It's pretty much guaranteed. Then I go in, I start doing I'm good in class because I was pretty good at like passing exams and everything else. As soon as I got in the hospital and started doing clinical work, I was like, I hate working with sick people. And I'm a germaphobe. That's the worst place that I needed to be. I'm a germaphobe, washing my hands all day as it was. My mom knew from when I was a little kid, I hated having dirty hands, and I'd constantly be coming in washing my hands. Well, just because that's where the money was, didn't mean that that's where I needed to be. And at a certain point, I had the guts to back out of a prestigious program that I'd gotten into with my grades. So choose the people that you're already passionate about. I've also got if you go on our website, I'll show you where to go. I have it's not on here. You know why it's not on here? Because I don't have that board up because everything broke a little while ago. If you go on our website, ilifecoachtraining.com, you can actually search our articles. I give you 5 ways of choosing a niche. And so I go into great detail of how you can actually pull things together to actually choose your niche. Oh, there's Santos. How's it going, Santos? Good to see you, man. D says, I have just started this course. Nice to meet you all. So good to see you. And Dr. Peter says, going after my bad money beliefs. Hey, and there's Sierra. It's so good to see you, Sierra. All right, cool. Let me just wrap up with one final thing. Oh, at least I'm going to attempt to, if the board's actually working for the rest of the night. And if it's not, well, I'll tell you just to go inside the link. Go inside the link. If you've not gotten trained and certified as a coach, jump inside this link. It'll take you about 90 seconds to enroll. Why am I telling you to join this program? Because by far, it's the most affordable program that we offer. So that's all inclusive. You can get trained and certified through our Life Coach certification course for only $195. But why do that when you're only going to be learning coaching skill? Yes, session 7, we do try to give you the building blocks on building a thriving coaching practice. But I'd highly recommend going Jumpstart because it's only $97 out of pocket, and you get hit by that once a month. And with a 3-month minimum commitment, you can stick around if you want to stay with us. But Jumpstart includes Bootcamp, which is our weekend training and certification program. You can knock all of your training out on January 5th through the 7th. Start Friday and Sunday. You're done with all your training. Just submit your assignments, and you're done with that part. Jumpstart also includes Brand Camp. We take you by the hand and you walk you through branding, how to develop your website, search engine optimization, how to write an email, how to write a sales page, all of those other kinds of things that we cover inside of there. We also have the coaching product launch blueprint, where we take you by the hand, step by step, to actually go from zero to launch of any coaching product, online course, webinar. And what do we do in all this? We cover brainstorming. We give you we go through product idea, product development, tools to do all of these different things, social media posts, coaching, funnels that you would use on your website. We show you the 14-day product launch sequence and bring you all the way to launch. All of these things are included inside of the Jumpstart program. That also includes our Wednesday group coaching call and Tuesday night live coach training. And we give you feedback on anything that you're working on so that you do not do this thing alone. No other coach training school does this. I know. I've looked at them all. I know what they do, and they give you a fraction of the help, but they do put you in severe debt for the most part. And for us, we're committed to helping you not get into debt and to pretty much be able to pay your life coach training off with your first client. And you can continue working with us ongoing if you care to, because it's not going to put you in financial duress. That's what our commitment has always been since day one when we started training coaches 10 years ago. Listen, I appreciate you guys all immensely. That's going to be it for tonight. It was a great Mentor Monday with every one of you. I appreciate you guys all immensely. Have a great rest of your week and take care.